They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense.
King Harold, King's Roulette, King's Club. We're going to have a little bit of a refresher session on how important the bet is. Because the bet is the heart and soul of everything that we do. As a matter of fact, it is almost everything. Once you have your plan on how you're going to play and you have your buy-in available, of course, we know what the buy-in means. It's 5% of your bankroll. But once you have your buy-in available, what really matters now is how you actually make these bets and maneuver the wins and losses to turn it into a profit. And so we're going to revisit the Dell today, and we're really looking solely at the Dell and Bear progression. We don't care really what the application is. Now, I'm going to use columns. I'm going to use odd number triggers the 1 and 3 columns. Even number triggers the 1 and 2 columns. When I reach session profit, I'm going to switch over to the dozens and do it the same way. Odd is 1 and 3 dozens, evens 1 and 2 dozens, and just give us a little bit of variety, a little bit more randomness in what we're doing. So we are going to begin with Dell and Bear in $5 units, and we're going to begin with a 5-unit double bet, $25. We're going to go up 2, we're going to go down 1, and just pay attention to how you maneuver your bet, how it affects your profitability. We're going to have a $1,000 buy-in. We're looking to make $150. Of course, if we made less in the system and the session went too long and we wanted to go home, you can go home anytime as long as you're at least 1% up. But for sake of this instructive session today, we're going to shoot for the $150. And so we'll begin here with the 5-unit bet of $25, odd number 31, and we have $5 bets on columns 1 and 3, and we spin. Dell and Bear, $5 units, up 2, down 1, and that's a $25 win. So that's session profit right there. So now we will switch to, from $25, we're going to switch to a $15 bet on dozens.
Wouldn't it be 20 if you're $5 units?
Yes, $5 units. Angel's here. See, he is not, listen, don't you think Angel's useless. He's not. He just came right in and said, okay, King, what in the world are you doing? So he's very, very valuable. We go to $20 on dozens 1 and 2 after the win. And with the win there, no matter what I say, if I make a mistake, Angel's going to, he'll be right here for me. I believe we go to the columns at $10.
15.
At $15. See, that was a test. On columns 1 and 2. Since we won at 25, we won at 20. You have to go to 15. I mean, this is, okay, King's catching on. And of course, that with that win, that's also another session profit. And so we're switching back and forth, which kind of is a refresher. That's a 22. I think we go to $10 here.
That's correct.
Oh, I got an A for that one. And we're at $10 each on dozens 1 and 2 because of the 22. And with the 24, we keep sinking, so we're going to go to $5. And before you say, okay, well, that's actually a good protective measure. Winning is all we're about here. We're about winning. So we're in columns 1 and 2 because of the 24. And we've gone all the way down to the $5 bet. And we're going to win at $5 here and try to climb our way all the way up. It's hard to do it at this rate, but we're going to go by the rules. We could have started the Dell and Bear higher. You could have done that. But we did start at 25. That was at 5 units. That's actually pretty good. But we're at 28, so that's dozens 1 and 2. For $5, we're up $75. And every time we're going to win, that is a new session, even though it's only $5. The 13 puts us on columns 1 and 3 for $5. And the 25 puts us at $5 on dozens 1 and 3. I had to be right because Angel didn't say anything, so that means I was definitely right. And there's a loss. So we're going to stay on the dozens with the 21 keeps us on dozens 1 and 3 at $15 because we go up 2. So we're $15 on dozens 1 and 3. $75. That 10 is a win, puts us back at session profit. And the 10 being an even number puts us at a $10 bet on columns 1 and 3. The instructive thing about this is watching the D'Alembert. It's the bet is what matters now. Nothing else matters. We know what we're going to do. We know how we're going to bet it. The bet's what matters. And with that loss there, we're going to go up. That was a $10 bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're going to go up to $20 on columns 1 and 2 because of the 26. And that $20 win, it puts us at session profit. So we're going to go to a $15 bet on dozens 1 and 2. The D'Alembert going up. Win more, lose less. Win more, lose less. That's how you do it. $15 win right there. Come on, Angel. How much am I going now? I'm going to columns 1 and 3. Is it a $10 bet? Huh?
Yes.
It is a $10 bet. I threw a dart in the dark, and a dart in the dark sometimes hits. And that's a $10 win. So we go to a $5 bet on dozens 1 and 3. We're at $115. Playing D'Alembert, up and down. We're staying at $5, but this time we're going to columns 1 and 2. Going back and forth, the columns and the dozens, it makes it all together more random. The D'Alembert keeps it under control. And the $5 win keeps us there. It's an odd number, so now we go back to the dozens at $125. And we're going to stay right there at $10, $15. I almost bet 10. I'd have got slapped for it, but I was going to do it. And that's how it happens. If we lose at 5, we win at 15. We're at $130, so we're going to go to $10 on columns 1 and 2 for the even number 34.
Why did we start at 1,000 today? Why did we start at 1,000 today?
I don't know. You just said to do that, so I did it. I just usually try to do what I'm told, you know. So that was a $10 win. So we're going to go to $5 on dozens 1 and 2 because of the 14. We're at plus 140. Angel just asked a question. I almost thought it was rhetorical because I had no answer. Sometimes that genius over there, he asks something that I can't even figure out. So, okay, so we're at $145. We're trying to win one last bet. We're going to go back over with the $5 bet. And this is always the hardest bet to win. The last little hump is the hardest thing to do. We're going to try to do it here. $5 on columns 1 and 3. Sometimes the last bet is the hardest bet to win. But not today.
1,000 is what we really consider the minimum.
1,000 is really a minimum buy-in. I mean, Angel's making that. I mean, I know it's a lot of money, but when you're playing this game,
At the table,
this is a game. I mean, if you have yourself a situation where you can play $1 bets or something, that's altogether different. But we are gradually moving back to the table, back to the analog wheel. It is the most fair wheel in the world. It's still got a 7% edge. But when we take the edge away with our algorithm, our buy-in, and our betting progression, we level the playing field. And that's what we're doing here. We just did it. You watched it on over and over again. We actually won about 74% of our spins, and with the betting progression, it saved us to where at 74% we were rock solid, unbeatable. We won $150 real fast, and you can do that too, but it does take the bankroll, and that's why I say you got to grow your bankroll through your wins and through organically. You actually got to go do some work. You got to put some money aside. It's just one of these occupational hazards of what we're doing. But if we want to be successful professionals at this, you have to be professional every bit of the way. You have to be very precise with your betting, very specific about what you do it, just like I was doing today. And it always helps if you got a genius alongside of you. You know, that's certainly unbeatable. But you saw how this is. And I don't have a name for this where you move back and forth between the columns and the dozens. Somebody can come up with it if they'd like. But I do think moving back and forth between columns and dozens is very interesting because the numbers are located very differently on the wheel, and it keeps things guessing. Rather than just saying that you're playing 1 through 12 or 13 through 24, now you're playing the mixed up columns as well. And it does refresh things, as you saw. So we're going to continue this for a little bit. We're going to do it with some Fibonacci. We're going to do it with some D'Alembert because the bet is so critically important. Just like I was telling our friend with the horse racing bet. It's not about the horse. It's not about the jockey. It's about the bet. Everything is about the bet. If you've got to buy in to play the game, if you know how to play the game, the last thing is the bet, and the bet is the critical part.
And the reason why you're prepping people for this is for Fib, Del, and for K2.
You can't see me smiling, but see, this is what I'm talking about with this guy. He ties things up, and that's just what he did. This was a foreshadowing. It's a preface. It's a prologue, if you will, to where we're going. Everything that we're doing leads to the next thing. So we're going to do a Fib and Del, and this is when things start to get really interesting and really powerful. And then we have K2. And that's what we have. Be happy to answer any questions from anybody at any time. We're going to continue on with this series for going forward of how do you bet? How do you make this thing deliver for you? Either through D'Alembert or through Fibonacci or through some other modification of those two. But for now, me and my brilliant sidekick, the Angel, the King, bid you adieu.